Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Easy Learn, and today's topic is algebra, within which we're going to be doing quadratic equations, and it's practice time today. To begin with, we already discussed that quadratic equations can be solved using three methods, that is, the zero factor property, completing the square, and the quadratic formula. I've discussed all these three methods in detail in my earlier videos. You can check the links down in the description below. Go understand the concept first, and then you can come back for solving. So today's question says, something like this: 25 over m plus 3 equals m plus 3. And now the point is that you got to find the value of m. Now, in order to find the value of m, the very first thing that you do is whenever you have a denominator and you have an equal sign and something else on the other side or whatever, you need to first of all get rid of this denominator. That's the rule. You always get rid of the denominator if you want to find the answer for the variable. So now this m plus 3 has to go to the other side in order to get rid of the m plus 3. Now, if I want to take this denominator to the other side, now it's in division with the 25. So when it goes to the other side, it turns into multiplication. So I'm going to do 25 stays where it is equals the m plus 3. This m plus 3 stays where it is. I'm just going to write m plus 3. And then now the other m plus 3, that is the denominator, when that goes to the other side, and I told you it's going to turn into multiplication. So it's going to come with this m plus 3 like this in a bracket, and you have to multiply. Now if you have to multiply this, you can't just do okay, m times an m squared and then 3 times 3 9. You can't do that. When you open up terms like these, you have to end up in four different variables. That is, how would you do that? You first gonna do m times m. This 25 comes the way it is equals this m times the m, so that is the m square. Then you have the m times that 3. I'm going to write plus 3m. Then this 3 with the m again, so plus 3m. And then this 3 with the 3, so that is 3 times 3, which is 9. Now I have 25 again stays the way it is equals. Now m squared does not have any other like term with it, so it just comes down the way it is. And then 3m and 3m, they're both like terms to each other. They belong to the same family, so I gotta solve them. So 3 plus 3 gives me 6, and then it's just an m. So m squared plus 6m plus 9 again. 9 does not have any like term with it, so I'm just gonna write 9 the way it is. Now, once I have an equation like this, I need to realize that there is an m square here. An m square, or anything square, a square, b square, x square, whatever, it means that this is supposed to be a quadratic equation. Now, when I have a quadratic equation, I am supposed to have a one single equation, and that should be equal to 0. But this one is equal to 25. So I gotta refer back to my general quadratic equation, that is ax squared plus bx plus c, which means I shouldn't have anything after the equal sign. So, and if I do, I am supposed to take that 25 to the other side and turn it into a one single equation. So now this 25 has to go all the way here. I'm going to have m squared plus 6m plus 9. Now in 25 here, it's a positive here, goes to the other side, turns into negative. So I'm going to write m squared plus 6m plus 9 minus 25. Now once I have that, I'm going to see that m squared again does not have any other like term with it. I'm just going to write m squared plus 6m again just comes the way it is because there's no other like term to it. Now 9 and 25, they're both numbers, which means I can solve them. So 9 minus 25, if you check that out, it is a negative 16. Now this is my basic quadratic equation that I've got, m squared plus 6m minus 16. Now I have to solve it. I have to find the value of m. Now for that, there again, as I already discussed, that there are three ways to do that: zero factor property, completing the square, or the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is way easier. You just figure out your a, b, c, put it in your calculator, and check out the answers for m using the formula. And the zero factor property is a little more manual. You have to do things and figure out factors and everything on your own. And completing the square, we mostly don't use that in general terms, unless and until it's specified or they want some answers are connected to completing the square thing. Then we use that. Otherwise, we mostly either jump onto the zero factor property or the quadratic equation, the quadratic formula. For this one, I just want to use the zero factor property because it's a little easy. I know what are the factors of 16. We mostly don't go for zero factor properties when we have bigger numbers and when there's a chance of getting decimal points or something as their answer. So you won't take zero factor property. But when it's just straightforward like this, you just can simply go on to the zero factor property. Now, in order to figure out using the zero factor property, I need to follow these specific steps that I already told in my earlier videos. So the first step is a times c. First of all, in this quadratic equation, you need to figure out what's my ABC. So as you can see in the general formula, it starts with ax squared, and here I have m squared. There's nothing attached here. That means that it's an invisible one. Therefore, my a here is equal to 1. Then the second part, bx. So what's my b here? It's a 6m. 6m bx is the same thing. So 6 stands for the b. So my a is 1, b is 6, and then the c is the standalone number without a variable, so that is 16. Negative 16. C is equal to negative 16. Now, once I have my ABC, now what's the first step? A times C. So 16 times the 1, this is my C, this is my A. 16 times 1 is just 16. The negative here doesn't really matter. So I have negative 16 and 1. So 16 times 1 is 16. Now the next step, first step done. Next step, find the factors of AC. Factors of AC mean that in which tables do I have 16. So I have 4 times 4 gives me 16. Then 8 times 2 gives me 16. And then obviously 16 times 1 gives me 16. Now, once I have my factors written down, then what's the third step? Add or subtract the factors should give back my b. What's my b here? It's 6. Now, subtracting or adding up the numbers or the factors here, I should be getting my 6. So if I do 16 minus 1, I get a 15. If I do 16 plus 1, I get a 17. No, this is not an option then. No 16 and 1. If I go ahead with 4 and 4, so 4 minus 4, 0. 4 plus 4, 8. No, this is again not an option. Then I have 8 minus 2. So if I do 8 minus, I have 8 and 2. If I do 8 minus 2, I get a 6. If I do 8 plus 2, I get a 10. So that means I can go ahead with 8 and a minus 2. These are the two numbers I can use in order to in order to basically find out my answers of m. So I have 8 and negative 2 because 8 minus 2 gives me 6 and 6 is the b. So I am supposed to have my factors and the signs on those factors should somehow give me back my b. So 8 minus 2 is giving back my 6. Now the third step is complete. I got my b out of that. So I'm going to do the fourth step, that is split b and replace with the factors. Now m squared just comes down the way it is. The negative 16 again just comes down the way it is. The 6m basically splits and writes to the factors that I figured out. That is my 8 and my negative 2. So I'm going to write m squared plus 8m, because 6m I'm breaking down the 6m, so I'm writing down as 8m minus 2m, and then I have a negative 16. Now, once I have the whole breakdown, I need to take these two, m squared plus 8m and negative 2m and negative 16. I'm going to take these down as my one single factors. I'm going to factorize basically. I'm going to figure out the commons out of these. So out of m squared and 8m, what's common? M is common. Now, from m squared, like m squared means there are two m's inside. From the two m's, if I took out one m is left inside here, plus from the 8m, if I already took out the m, then 8 is left in here. So I have plus 8. Now from this one, what is common? M is now no more common. There is no m with the 16, so I can't take m outside. But I can take negative 2 outside. A negative is common here in both of them. And 2 is common because 2 times 8 is 16. So I can just remove my negative 2 outside. Inside again, now from the negative 2, if I take away negative 2m, if I'm taking away negative 2, then m is left inside. And from negative 16, if I already take the negative sign outside with the 2 outside, then inside I'm left with a positive 8. You can also open up and check. So negative 2 times m is negative 2, and negative 2 times positive 8 is negative 16. Now I have m plus 8 and m plus 8. Now these two factors, m plus 8 and m plus 8, can be written down as one single factor, m plus 8. And the other factors that are standing outside, that is m and a minus 2, you put them inside one single bracket. So m minus 2. Now these are my two factors, m plus 8 and m minus 2. Now if I have to figure out the values of the m, Then you're going to take each factor and you're going to equate it to 0. So m plus 8 is equal to 0. And if I want to find my m, I'm going to take my 8 to the other side. So m is equal to, when positive 8 goes to the other side, it turns into negative 8. So my m is equal to either negative 8, or I'm going to find the next factor, that is m minus 2 was my factor. I equate it to 0. I take the negative 2 to the other side. When negative goes to the other side, turns into positive. So m is equal to positive 2. Now, these are my two factors. Now, m is either equal to positive 2 or it's equal to negative 8. These are my two answers for m. Whenever you have a quadratic equation, 99% of the times you're supposed to get two answers out of that, and one is supposed to be negative, one is positive. Most of the times one is positive, one is negative, but sometimes there are exceptional situations when either both are positive or both turn out to be negative. So, but the point is that you are supposed to end up in two solutions, in two answers of m. So that's pretty much it. When you have a question like this, you have a denominator. First of all, get rid of the denominator, then solve. Once you get a quadratic equation format, just put everything on one side, get the ax squared plus bx plus c form. Once you have that, use the quadratic formula or the zero factor property and find out your factors and then find out your solutions. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching Easy Learn. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. If you have any questions, any confusions, you can drop them down in the comment section below. Thank you.